Monday was a travel day for the Springboks after their victory over Scotland at Murrayfield on Sunday. And so on Tuesday, they were straight into training in a shortened preparation week for their match against England here in London on Saturday. So, Shim, a shortened training week, a 6-day turnaround. What does that mean for coaches, for players, even for the medical staff?
Look, I think Rassie mentioned it, actually interesting that a 6-day turnaround during the World Cup and probably a little bit flat with that. So what they want to do is make changes for freshness, not on form or anything, just to make sure that the guys physically are ready. But the recovery standards, all of that, they know exactly what to do. Chances they'll train probably low intensity, and shorter time also, then they'll know when to ramp it up in terms of training so they get that hit out. So interesting though, but I mean, the squad system has been used, throughout the season. Rassie's mentioned in pre-match that these guys must get used to working with other combinations and still driving the same cohesiveness. So chances are we will see changes. What they're going to be, we don't know.
Well, we heard from Rassie Erasmus last week a couple of things. The fact that he ideally would like to use all 35 players in his touring squad during these 3 test matches, and also that last week's selection was made very much with the England game and the short turnaround in mind. So potentially substantial changes.
Yeah, look, whether it's going to be a 7-1 split, a 6-2, a 5-3, Tony Brown said maybe a 4-4. We don't know. We've never gotten it right. Since the World Cup, even before that, there have been plenty of changes, but it's a beautiful position. I think what you want to do is when you leave South Africa with the players, you have there on the play, and you want to make sure everybody's good enough to start a test and get involved. And I think that's the position we're in now. There will be changes. Look, I'd be lying if I tried to guess.
Some real interest in this game for a variety of reasons. England smarting after narrow defeats to both New Zealand and Australia, desperate for a win. South Africa, if you listen to the coaches and the players, not happy with their performance against Scotland. And then there's also that nagging memory of a very tightly contested World Cup semi-final last year.
Look, if you look at where both positions, England since the World Cup have gone backwards. They had a good tour of New Zealand. They could have got the result there. But since then, you look at the management team, the changes, they've got this rush defense that they're uncertain of now. When Felix Jones was still there, his name was mentioned. We've gotten better, I think. We've improved a lot. We've evolved our style where England they want to sit on the top table. I think you look at Scotland, you look at Ireland, you look where England or France will be pretty good or have been pretty good. So both weeks under pressure. And that's the narrative that's going to be driven by the English media this week. He's desperate for a win, and you know what happens if he doesn't get the result now. They're going to talk about replacements, etc., etc. So the pressure is massive on the English team and for the Springboks to make sure that it's not as close as the World Cup game.
An unusual selection against Scotland, but they did score 4 tries to 0 against the Scots up at Murrayfield. The one thing that will remain satisfactory is the defensive system, shutting Scotland out 2 tests in a row.
Yeah, the reality is, Matt, test match rugby, you got to learn how to defend. Get your set piece right, get your defense right, and your kicking game, and you're in every single game. And that's where we've been strong. Our defense, we probably don't have the line speed we used to have, but we're more connected, more unified. The big thing is our scramble defense is pretty good. When teams do get around us, we're working hard backwards, and I think that's what every team, every coach wants to see in a team, and that's where the commitment is shown. So that's pretty good, and we've shown, evolving in attack, and there'll be 1 or 2, teething areas, 1 or 2 mistakes there, but we're asking questions. Anyone that tries to analyze the Springboks, we did a 4-man maul close to the 5-meter line. There's the cross kicking. We can go through the middle. We can go around. Our scrum has been unbelievable since I think the 2019 World Cup. So we are a pretty difficult team to prepare against. And then comes the selection. Who are we going to select? And no one can guess.
Well, we're going to find out on Thursday. Both England and the Springboks naming their teams for Saturday. On Thursday, stay with us on tour with the Springboks for all the news, interviews, and reaction to the team selections.